teacher Chelsey, and I love biology. And I love food. So when I found out that sometimes the two go together, I was a little surprised. Have you guys heard about food microbiology? No? Well, it's the scientific study of microorganisms that are found inside of food, and get this, it's also the study of the microorganisms that can sometimes be used to make food. Yeah, you heard that right. Sometimes microorganisms are the key ingredient to help produce certain foods, and these are the kind of foods that most of us eat daily. Isn't that strange? So, microorganisms, what is that? Well, an organism is any living structure. So that could be a plant or an animal or a fungus like a mushroom or bacteria. Anything that is capable of growing and reproducing, and a microorganism is a tiny organism that you can't see with the naked eye. You can only see it by looking in a microscope because it's that small. Micro means extremely small, smaller than an ant. Oh, so back to food microbiology. One of my favorite foods is yogurt. I eat it almost every day for breakfast with granola and honey. Yum. Oh, whoops, sorry. I don't want to be getting sidetracked thinking about yogurt and how delicious it is. Anyway, guess what I found out? I found out that there's a type of microorganism that's in my yogurt. Can you guess what kind of organism it is? Is it a plant, an animal, a fungus, or bacteria? If you guess bacteria, you're correct. Wait a minute, bacteria in my yogurt? I love yogurt, so does that mean I'm eating bacteria when I eat yogurt? Ugh, ew. Well, it's not as gross as you might think. Okay, it does sound kinda gross, but actually not. There's a science behind it, and it's really interesting. In this video, we're going to learn about the bacteria living in my yogurt so you can see why it's not as icky as you might think. Are you ready to have your mind blown? You are? Good. So with everything, we have to start at the very beginning and talk about bacteria and what exactly it is. Well, bacteria are tiny little organisms that are everywhere around us. Oh, they're in the air, on our skin, in our bodies, on the ground. Like I said, they're everywhere, but remember, we can't see them without one of those fancy microscopes because they're, you guessed it, micro. Bacteria were also among the first forms of life to appear on Earth. Wow, how cool is that? Bacteria are single-celled microorganisms that are also known as unicellular. Uni means one, so unicellular means one cell. Bacteria can be a number of different shapes and colors, ranging from spheres to rods to spirals. They are all unique, just like us. So, are bacteria dangerous? Well, yes and no. Most bacteria aren't dangerous, but some can be, and those are the ones that can make us sick. The dangerous bacteria are known as pathogens, and pathogens can cause diseases in animals or plants or even us. Pathogens are responsible for infecting their host and can cause bacterial diseases like strep throat, staph infections, tuberculosis, and food poisoning. Ugh, that might sound a little scary, but don't worry. We have medication like antibiotics that we can take, which help to fight off those bad pathogens if we ever do get sick. And we also have antiseptics like hydrogen peroxide that we can put on our skin to help us keep our wounds clean of bad bacteria. Bacteria are all around us, good and bad. And that's why it's important to always wash your hands for no less than 20 seconds every time. Bad bacteria, be gone. So, what about the good bacteria? Well, we've discovered that some bacteria can be dangerous, but not all of them are bad. In fact, most bacteria are actually very helpful to us. Most bacteria can be extremely beneficial to our bodies by keeping us healthy. Who would have thought? Have you ever heard of probiotics? Well, probiotics are good bacteria. The main job of probiotics is to maintain a healthy balance in your body. Think of it this way. When bad bacteria invade your body, causing you to get sick, good bacteria work extra hard to fight off the bad bacteria so you can start to feel better. It's almost like a superhero versus villain fight in our bodies. The good bacteria versus the bad bacteria. Pow, pow! And then the bad bacteria would be gone. Huh, cool. Probiotics can help our bodies by improving or restoring gut flora. That's important because our gut flora helps to maintain the balance between the good bacteria and the bad bacteria, so we can have a healthy digestive system. Our gut is central to our health and well-being. Our gut contains more than 70% of our entire immune system. So that's why it's important to keep our gut healthy, and probiotics help with that. So, what does the gut flora do? Well, the gut flora, which is also known as the microbiota, does a lot of different things. It's the microorganisms that live in our digestive tract. That's right. These microorganisms work by processing or metabolizing the nutrients that we get from food and certain medications. That means it helps all the good things we get from food and medication to work stronger. Oh, a good working gut flora also provides a protective shield against intestinal infections, and it produces vitamin K, which helps blood to clot, which is important when we hurt ourselves. Vitamin K works hard to stop the bleeding, so your wounds can begin to heal. Good bacteria really is a superhero. Whoa! Did you see that? So now that we know about bacteria and how good it can be, is this superhero good bacteria in our food? Yep, there can be good bacteria in our food. It may sound gross, but they aren't really that bad, I promise. Remember, good bacteria help our bodies by enhancing our health. So, are you shocked when I tell you that good bacteria is used when making foods like, you guessed it, my favorite, yogurt? Have you ever noticed that your yogurt container says contains live and active cultures on it? Live and active cultures? What does that even mean? When they say live and active cultures, I imagine a bunch of little bacterial organisms doing press-ups and running laps around the container. But That's not right, is it? Firstly, cultures are another term for bacteria, but specifically it means bacteria that are grown in a laboratory. And bacteria is a living organism. So yes, it is a live culture. And in terms of the bacteria being active, well, that's right too. The bacteria is actively working to restore your gut health. So the probiotics that we talked about before, the good bacteria, well, that's in your yogurt. How? Well, let's start talking about how yogurt is made. Remember when we talked about food microbiology and how bacteria can help make food? Did you know bacteria are responsible for turning milk into yogurt? Yeah, that's right. To enjoy the thick and creamy, delicious yogurt that you know and love, you need to start with milk. So, we all know milk, right? Milk, which is also delicious, is full of nutrients like calcium, which help build strong bones and teeth. Milk is a mixture of proteins and fats and lactose sugar, all hanging around in about 87% water. Depending on what you do with it, milk can be made into a bunch of delicious things like butter, cheese, ice cream, and yogurt. Yum! So, how do you turn milk into yogurt? Well, first you have to sterilize all equipment you use to get rid of any unwanted bacteria. You then have to heat up the milk to about 195 degrees Fahrenheit, and this process is called pasteurization. And this is to get rid of any other bad microorganisms that are hanging around in the milk that can make you sick. It also helps to evaporate some of the water off the milk, which is very important. You want less water in the milk so that it thickens the consistency of the liquid up, because yogurt is thicker than milk, right? The heat makes the water molecules move faster and faster until they move so fast they escape as a gas. Poof! That's evaporation. And less water in the mixture means a thicker consistency. Milk is made up of two proteins, whey and casein. The high temperature helps to break down the whey proteins in the milk, which changes their shape so that the milk doesn't curdle. Because if it curdled, that would start to make cheese. And as yummy as cheese is, we're making yogurt right now. So, after the heating process is done, the milk begins to cool and a bacterial culture is added. The milk needs to cool down first because if you add the bacterial culture to the heated milk, it will kill it. The bacterial cultures added are called Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus. Whoa, try saying that 3 times fast. Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus. Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus. Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus. Whoa, sheesh, that's hard. And don't worry if you can't pronounce them. I had to practice a lot. Anyway, these bacteria all have different strains, and depending on the strain you use, you can get yogurt that is creamier or yogurt that is super sour. Whatever you desire, it all depends on the mixture of bacterial cultures you use. So, after working really hard to get rid of the bacteria from the milk, why do we then go and add bacteria back into it? Well, the bacteria lactobacillus, and streptococcus are lactic acid bacteria. Their job is to ferment the milk by eating the lactose sugars in the milk and turning it into lactic acid. Fermentation is the process in which a substance breaks down into a simpler substance. So, in this case, it's the lactose sugar turning into lactic acid. When the bacteria ferment the milk and make it acidic enough, the structure of the casein proteins in the milk starts to change, which turns the milk into the thick, creamy, and tart-tasting texture you know as yogurt. And that's one of the reasons why yogurt can be so tangy, because of the lactic acid. Once the mixture is chilled, we can then add sugar and artificial flavors like vanilla or passion fruit, or my personal favorite, strawberry. Anything to change the taste to your personal preference, and Viola, you have yourself some scrumptious yogurt. Oh, so, is that really bacteria living in my yogurt? The answer is yes. Bacteria is needed to make yogurt, and it turns out that bacteria is really good for you. So next time you devour that yummy cup of yogurt for breakfast, think of all the good bacteria that worked hard to make it go from milk to yogurt to inside your gut and keep you nice and healthy. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye!
We are thrilled that you're watching Blues Studios 24/7. We're so excited to bring round-the-clock entertainment and educational content to your home. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with our latest videos. At Blues Studios, we aspire to revolutionize the way families spend time together. We empower families by providing them with tools to work together, earn and learn, and achieve new heights of success. Visit www.bluestudios.io to discover more about our mission and how we empower families to succeed. Thank you so much for being part of our community. Keep watching and learning with us. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button.